What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is Super Dave with the PA Political Revolution Podcast. And we're back at it again to give you some more thought-provoking opinions about what's going on in this city's government. And man, today gonna be a nasty podcast, right? Right. This I'm gonna. At first, I thought this was gonna be a happy-go-lucky podcast, kind of joke type of podcast, right? More on the entertainment side, but I think this it's gonna have entertainment. It's going to be a little jokey, so to speak, right? But it's going to shed light to some serious topics that's going on within politics, right? Now, it's been a lot going on, kind of go over a little bit of it, right? Basically, the last time I kind of, you heard from his back when he was doing that doggone tuberculosis crisis, right? They had some type of tuberculosis scare crisis. The city is not really admitting that, right? But, we have a council member that pretty much, she did a live and she kind of stated, hey, they had 2 letters go out, right? And one of the letters that went to council was kind of explaining more of a deep, detailed concern, for what's going on with the city, right? As far as tuberculosis. So now, as you know, well, you may not know, some people didn't admit it, or they didn't admit they had any cases, right? So they just, at first, they mainly just said, hey, we got somebody that may or may have it. We're waiting for test results to come back, right? Then after this council person put out that they had 4 cases of tuberculosis, now that the city had to come out and actually admit to, we got some tuberculosis, but 2 was considered last year and 2 this year, some crazy, type of lie that was going on, right? So when they had the news, right? Well, a little bit before that, when the letter came out, the mayor went on the news and talked about some type of dirty drugs. They had the city ambulance and the chief of the fire chief, right, talking about dirty drugs. Then, the councilman, the letter came out, they had to go ahead and, hit it back again. The news came out, I interviewed with the news agency and they tried to, they kind of cut up. But doggone, I had like about 12 words. They broke 12 words into 2 segments, right? Did not even give a sentence, did not even give a complete thought. But, wasn't even able to give a complete sentence, but they want to blame that on not having enough time. But hell, why you do a segment if you don't have enough time? That's bullcrap, because you have enough time when other people, right? When other people have different complaints, different issues, you sit down there and at least give them 1 sentence, right? You at least let them say 1 doggone sentence. But for me, when it comes to calling out these crooks on politics, right? You don't give me the same respect that you give other people, right? You chop up the words. Now, with Mr. With the reporter, right? It's not really about him because he's, a slave to the system, slave to Channel 6 News, and they, in my opinion, just bought and sold, right? Bought just like a lot of other media spots. I'm gonna kind of get in there a little bit too later, but they, I know at least 2 people talked to the owner of Channel 6 News and KBMT, whatever you call it, and they didn't really want to touch or didn't really acknowledge anything about the letter, from what I've been told, right? Or they said they was going to look at it, and the first time that the issue came out, that they didn't really say nothing about it. So, unfortunately, you have the news media are sometimes bought and sold in politics, right? News media are corrupt. We've seen that with this crap that's going on with these English folks with the king and queen. They lying about that lady, saying that lady didn't come out because she had some type of stomach issue or stomach surgery that kept them out for 10 months or whatever. And then now to find out they was lying, they gave TMZ a fake video. So, look, news media can be corrupt. In politics, they often are, right? Because they are there to promote propaganda, right? They're there to promote a certain type of view, a certain point, right? So, and that's what I believe that happened with me. Even though the letter came out, when I gave the interview to Channel 6 News, they refused to show the letter. Now, the letters came out, but they refused to show it. Now, that's crazy. So, we have all the problems going on with that, right? But as long as you have the PA Political Revolution podcast, I will give you that unadulterated truth, right? Just another thing that Channel 6 News refused to do, right? When they had Mayor Bartee threaten Willie Bay Lewis when he was being called out for not paying taxes, but he want to burn up the city's tax dollars, right? They didn't put that out there. And that pretty much went viral, man. That went viral. The full meeting went viral. 6 News completely skipped over there and act like nothing happened. So you have to expect that they are corrupt. And whoever running the internet website did block me. How you have a Channel 6 News organization block a goddamn citizen? That's crazy. But only in Southeast Texas, baby. Only in Port Arthur, Southeast Texas, we get some of the craziest crap around here. It is truly a circus, and it's truly a carnival. Now, we still have paratransit line, right? Council went rogue. Well, council been rogue. Council cannot control its employees. Council does not have control over what's going on with the city, right? You have employees doing certain things, right? Refusing to give the blind citizens a ride, right? That's crazy. That's straight ludicrous. After they came on the council, was told by the previous city attorney to do it, came, news interviewed them, they told the news they was going to be grandfathered in. Now they're telling Miss Melissa Jackson and some of the others they're going to have to catch a dollar ride again to go to the library when they were supposed to be grandfathered in and continue to do the service like it was going to do. So you have that dog of a mayor that dog of a mayor that we have, Thurman Bill Bartee, right? That lied to the news, that told everybody on the news that they're going to go ahead and fix the problem for them. But the problem is still not fixed. Council is corrupt, and I done had to call these corrupt ass district attorney's office again, right? I called one of these secretaries, told me to put the Keith Giblin's dog on voicemail, and they gave me some other lady's voicemail. I don't know who in the hell they gave it to me. Gave me the voicemail, but I had to let them know, hey, y'all got all this crazy stuff going on. Look, this city can't survive with all this stuff going on. You're gonna have to do something. So, people, you need to put out the calls to this DA, and I would preferably hit the Texas Rangers up through email, hit the FBI up through email also, or the little complaint forms that they have, right? Because hopefully that's the actual paper trail instead of call them. Call them is good too. But also I would recap with sending them one of them emails on them little complaint forms, some submit forms. So if this do come through a head, right, you're gonna have all of the documentation, right? That should be able to be pulled up. Any government type of email source or something that should be able to be pulled up And later, if it ever gets investigated on these other law enforcement agencies, hey, look, you add this in there. We can only do our part. So that's what I'm asking everybody, do your part and call these agencies and report it to them, the DA, FBI, Rangers, Attorney General, and whoever else you could think of. I gotta look some. I gotta go do some research for some more answers. But I know there's some more people out there. So and I need to find out what type of what you call it, Congress people. Yeah, Congress people. I gotta connect and try to talk to get some some actual things going on down here. But yeah, man, the paratransit losing his goddamn mind, losing his doggone mind, saying F the citizens, right? Hey, this is what's going on. We have to do something about it. And this is getting too crazy. I don't know what to say about it, but it's getting too crazy with this city. Right. And oh yeah, I kind of briefly checked out some of the council meeting today. They had some of this failed homeless commission, right? Let me tell you how crazy the city of Port Arthur is, right? The city of Port Arthur is so damn dirty. They created a homeless commission, right? According to the city manager, got some money for the homeless commission, dispersed the homeless commission, didn't do anything about it. And now they're talking about bringing it back so they can talk about how they want to spend the money. Wow. Well, if you had this money, why didn't you go ahead and spend it when you had this commission a long time ago? So basically, you just sitting on this money, really wanting to do what you want to do with it, because you wasn't going to do anything with it because you had disassembled that homeless commission. So that homeless commission had to be just a front for you to go ahead and get some of this federal dollars, right? Man, look, this is how corrupt this city of Port Arthur is. We use the homeless to get money, but don't want to do anything with the homeless money until Keith Richards had to come up there and to speak about it, right? And to speak about it. Now, the city manager want to talk about getting something together and spending the money that they got. No telling how long that they got the money, right? And then now it's making sense when Dr. Queen was saying, hey, what happened to the money? Now I see what happened to the money, right? Because people were saying there was no money they had some money in the homeless, in the homeless committee, whatever, and how they didn't have any money, right? So Dude said, and said, hey, what's going on with the commission? So it's so crazy. The city manager said, yeah, we have one commission, but where you don't really need to have a commission, you could just, as long as everybody on the page. Man, this city is ran so improper, it doesn't make any sense. And I'm surprised these people are not going to jail. The only reason why I can say they're not going to jail is because the district attorney's office must be in cahoots with these doggone crooks, right? It's bigger than a clown named Barty, right? And it's bigger than some clown Kappas on council, right? It's bigger than the KKK, clown Kappas on council. Bigger than that. Bigger than Barty, right? But I'm going to show you one of the main problems that's going on with this city, right? One of the main problems going on is the actual network. And that's kind of when I want to get to this the problem, right? The network. So, basically, what I seen, right? What I kind of caught some pictures on Facebook of a school board member, right? The school board member name is Taylor Getwood, right? seen Taylor Getwood throw up the OK sign looking through his eye, right? Now, I understand they throw that OK sign, the B sign, what some people would say was gang-related, called Bloods, or the little Kappa sign B. I understand they do that. I know they do that. And I know the OK sign has different meanings, from blood, from Kappa to white supremacy to some racist thing, or they trying to say it's some type of looky-look game. I understand all of that. But what I haven't seen, right, is one of these Kappa guys throw that OK sign and look through it through the OK, the 6, or whatever you want to say it, right? Never seen them, look through it through the eye, right? Now, I've seen one of those gestures whenever you have, they kind of say it's a 666. They say it's satanic, right? And you have all of these actors, rappers, and, media personalities kind of throw that up a lot of time, right? So I thought that, hey, let me go ahead and kind of do a jokey joke on this, right? A little quick podcast telling about this and kind of say, hey, look, we got a doggone school board member that's throwing up these satanic signs allegedly, right? Now, I don't think the young guys, worship Satan and anything like that. I don't know, but that's just my opinion. But, these young folks, they know actually what they're doing, right? And the reason why I thought it was so funny, right? I thought it was just hilarious with Taylor Getwood throwing that up, because on one instance, you'll see the young man dancing around, right? Dancing, wearing crowns and tiaras on his head, ripping and running, dancing, singing all these things, just performing and whatnot. And then you go back to this picture of him being serious with the OK sign, the 666 sign, whatever you want to call that sign, where you're looking through the index and the thumb finger, right? And that just kind of tickled me, because he just pledged Kappa. He just got anointed being a Kappa. I guess you graduated or crossed the burning sands, whatever you call him being anointed to being at a Kappa, one of these divine nine fraternities, all this, society type stuff, all this, right? Whenever you get into that, that's what he, obviously have doing through college sometime, right? So he's in this thing and he's throwing up these signs. So, at first I was thinking that's a jokey joke, but then I start to go around, then I start to look at his handlers, right? And I start to say, hey, okay, are these people grooming young politicians, right? Now, the problem with his handlers, Taylor Getwood's handlers, right? In my opinion, right, they push these young politicians out there in the forefront, force them to go out there and deal with politics where they not be mentally ready for it or emotionally ready for to handle with being a doggone council member or being a school board member or being a professional leader, right? You have to be a professional leader if you want to be in one of these things, right? And unfortunately, the citizens don't really vote with logic all of the time. They normally vote by name recognition and the propaganda these networks put out for them, right? And I start thinking about it. Hold on, man. His handlers are the same people that's kin to the goddamn clown, two of the clowns that's on council member, right? Clown with Boy T and doggone Frank. You have this family that's been grooming Taylor Getwood to be a politician kin to Barty and Frank, right? And through their capital association, cool with Ken Law and doggone Thigpen, right? So you have these networks of crooks, in my opinion, they're screwing over the city, right? That's burning these city money, doing pay-for-play type deals. That's my opinion, right? Doing all of these things, and that's what's really wrong with the city. And it boils down to a big part of it is this political family. Now, this political family groom these kids where Taylor Getwood, when you see him in most of these doggone groups, he is the youngest person in the room. So it begs the question, why is Taylor being around all of these older folks, right? He's around all of these older folks jumping shit, but I don't blame Taylor. I don't blame Taylor Getwood for him being where he's at. I blame the political family that promotes, pushes, and indoctrinates him to be a future corrupt leader. Because you have him following in the steps of corrupt people right now. And that's why I believe he joined that Kappa fraternity, right? Most of these people that's in politics, right? Not talking about regular Kappa that really believe in the idea. Like you have people like Greg Richards, right? He really believed in, representing Kappa the right way, in my opinion. I believe Greg Richards represents that. Being a stand-up gentleman, representing the craft. But you have these other clowns over here. You have these other clowns over here that uses that to be like a fake mini boule, right? You have that to be a fake boule, a fake Port Arthur Illuminati, right? Where you want to have most of your jobs, most of your resources go through these crooks and go through these crooks, and while it's going through them, they network fool you into believing they're doing something positive, right? So you have the network with this family that's pushing these politicians out, right? And also Ken Barty, you have, people that's connected to other, former senators and, former high-level politicians, right? That actually alive for them, that are actually kind of, look out for them. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. They'll come up with these type of awards or whatnot. They'll kind of use black folk. Hey, I'm pro-black, but the action doesn't say that. Now they may have some awards, little TV shows or whatever they got going on. They'll have something. They may try to, act like they black, right? Like for the Prime Minister, they had this marker, I believe, that they had did for the city of Portland, some kind of marker and some type of, holiday deal to deal with something with going on with racism, right? Good. Nothing's wrong with it. That's great. That's great. But don't forget when the city had the chance to put black folks in jobs, right? When they had a chance to talk to you had a chance to direct the EDC director to go ahead and get jobs for citizens. They already had a system in place to go ahead and do that. You had the circus clown, the circus director, the major clown, number one clown, Barty, and you're really trying to, him and Frank threw a monkey wrench in that. They had the major votes, so they have a little bit more influence than, Deuce said, Bay Lewis or Beckham. They did not get that EDC director to go ahead and hire black folks. And I put the video out there where Deuce said gave him a directive a couple of months ago, and when they called them back to the back to the council. He refused to do it. And then this turnaround is already over, right? We started over in January, probably a few months before for a pre-turnaround. And it kind of ended like early March, late February. So you have to understand, they like to do black folks or celebrate black folks with symbolism. But when it comes to actual actions, laws, or anything to deal with that, they straight crap on black folks. And these black folks in office is what I'm talking about, right? And you have this political family supporting people like Barty and Frank when they crap on the citizens. You have Barty and Frank and them stand by them screwing over the disabled citizens, man. They've been just screwing over them back with O.W. Collins. If I'm not mistaken, you have O.W. Collins still, the elevator still don't work. They still have mold in the house, the apartments, still have bed bugs in there, but the city, with this influence with the housing department, right? Because the mayor appoints the board members, the position of the mayor appoints the board members, they still do nothing about it because they have a whole nother racket with low-income housing. But that's for another subject, right? That's for another show topic. But to stay back on course, right? You have these networks, right? You have this political family bringing Taylor Getwood into these politics as a young age, right? And it's mainly because he has a last name, Getwood, kin to the Getwoods that been coaches within the school system. So he has that immediate name recognition. So you just have a corrupt network that supports him, and he's going to go out there, right? And he's, going to do well. If you don't have too many people with, name recognition, he'll get it, right? So, and I start thinking about, hey, they have this Nickelodeon documentary of how kids getting abused in Hollywood, and they have another one, but I think this is the same one, Quiet on the Set, right? So I'm thinking, man, look, I believe that's what they doing here. They doing the same or a similar type of grooming, not for Hollywood, but for politics, right? So you get these kids, right? Like Taylor. Now look, this is the main issue I got with Taylor, not with Taylor, but with the people. Let this kid be a kid. He was 18 years old when I believe he got this, when he got elected, right? To be the youngest school board member. See, what they'll do, they'll go, hey, the first black female list. After the first black female, they'll go to the first, hey, black male. Then after that, when they start running out of older folks to go to, now they want to start corrupting the young folks. Now, like they had Brandon Barty, the youngest one at that time. You had a constable. He's supposed to be the youngest constable at that time, right? Now Taylor, you have him as the youngest this. So they don't actually, this family, they don't actually pull people by qualification. They just pull them by young because they don't know that much about politics, and they don't know that you don't have to be corrupt, right? So the only thing they know is being corrupt, and they get into politics, right? But I doing the research for this, man. Look, I done pulled up, this guy done did a news press conference about, I don't know if that was when he got it or a little bit after, but I think it was like some type of Black History thing, right? This guy, you have a sitting board member, that has a crown on his head. This guy actually goes around with a crown or a tiara on his freaking head. Let that sit back with you, people. We have a doggone board member with a crown on his head. Supposed to be a professional person with a goddamn crown on his head and a doggone cape. calls himself the Prince of Port Arthur. This guy actually thinks he's not. Now, this is not a shot at him, but it's for the actual family that pushes this man out there, right? They push this young guy out there, does not let him enjoy his youth, right? Does not let him enjoy his youth. Pushes him out there when he's going to these pageants, these beauty pageants, these Mr. TSU pageants, these Mr. HBCU pageants, any other pageants I haven't missed, right? If he's doing all of these pageants, what do you think he's doing for the doggone kids of PISD, right? I've seen this man on social media wearing more crowns than I've actually seen him inside a classroom. Let me say that again. I have seen your board member with crowns on his head more times than I've seen him inside of the school with the youth. I have seen him with 2 crowns on his head more times than I've seen him with the youth. Now, nobody can tell me what has Taylor Getwood fought for as in type of legislation, did anything, right? What has he fought for when dealing with these kids in the school board? What type of plans has he implemented for like the safety of there, right? The safety of them kids. How can a guy that just graduated under the superintendent, how is he going to correct the superintendent when he's doing something wrong, right? This family get these political puppets, put them in position knowing they don't have a clue on what's going on with the doggone school district, and you wonder why your school is so fucked up. Pardon my African. Pardon my African. Why? You don't know why the school is so screwed up, right? But you really don't want to know. But we in Port Arthur think this crap is normal. We think it's normal for a doggone board member to be running around here with a goddamn crown on his freaking head. Let that sink in, people. Let that actually sink in. And instead of seeing this guy on the news talking about what's going on with the kids, what he's fighting for, we see this man shucking and jiving and performing, right? Now, nothing is wrong with that. But once you put your name on the ballot, once you put your name on the ballot and you want to be an elected official, you open yourself up to this. You open yourself up to the scrutiny if you're not doing what the people elected you to do. You open yourself up to this, so I don't want to get no phone calls, people crying, all this is here. You followed, you done doggone pushed, you done groomed a doggone kid up here to be a grown man when he's not emotionally or mentally ready to do this. And we suffer, right? And you have to see, man, look, this guy's passion is to be in radio, show, plays, TV, the studio. That's where this guy's real passion is. He is a performer. He wants to be a performer. He wants to be an actor, right? Because I seen him in something called Black Boys Cry, right? Some type of play they have going on. Well, I think he's like he was a fill-in for a certain point for the South tour or the tour through Houston, Atlanta, Third Coast, wherever it was, right? He's supposed to, I guess he was like a stand-in or whatnot for somebody else. I don't know. But he was on this tour called What Black Men Cry or Black Boys Cry, right? One of the things. So you have this guy wanting to be a stage play. And I really wish I could go, I'm going to have to fight with these folks at school. I wish I could pull up his attendance record, right? I'm pretty sure his attendance record is not really up to par. But understand this, we have a board member that walks around here with crowns on his head everywhere he goes. He's over here dancing or whatnot, singing more old school songs than I know. He's singing Marvin Gaye, Prince, dancing to Prince, everything, more stuff than I know, right? You can see him dancing around with a suit with no shirt on, right? Chest out. And we think this crap is normal for a professional school board member that supposed to be making decisions about the board. Now, nobody questions that, right? I don't have a problem with, his direct family, but the family that grooms him is not his direct family. The ones that you see him with pushing the politics is like they grooming him, right? That's not his real family. I guess it's like his step or the play family, adopt. I don't know. They call them family. I don't know all that. Whatever they doing, that's what they doing. But they call them like it's a son, a play son, or something. I don't know. They just got this man growing up too doggone quick, too quick. Now, when you look at Taylor, where do you see any of his friends his age? The only time I see him with some friends his age is through the college, the TSU. Now tell me something. How can you actively go to college in Houston, go to these different pageants left and right? I think he said it was in St. Louis one time. He was over there in D.C. dancing and whatnot. He's doing all these extracurricular activities. When is he there for the school? When is he there for the board meeting? When is he there to take care of certain issues? When is he there? He's not there all the time, right? And this political family, they push these people, man. Look, if you look at the school board, they have like 3 young folks over there right now. Taylor, Brandon Barty, younger folks, and this other young guy, right? I know Taylor and, Barty corrupt because they kind of all kin-ish, right? Kin-ish. Now, the family that's grooming Taylor is kin to Barty and, some of these other cats, right? So they kin to him, but they got Taylor's like the adopted child, so he's kind of like adopted, half kin to Barty and Frank. So they kind of, look out for him. And now with him pledging Kappa, I can already see they just kind of bringing him along in with the corruption. They want to use him to go on in with the corruption. Soon as he leave from over there, he's going to come to the city of Port Arthur. And there he going to be, allegedly corrupt because they groom these people young. They groom them young because they don't know right from, they know right from wrong, but they don't really understand city government. They don't really understand it. So they feel that, hey, for me to get a good job, I have to go sell out these people. I got a name, so I ain't got to really do too much. I don't have to build my personality. My family name is build my character, build my reputation. I'm going to go right off of that. And most citizens in PA, we kind of look at this name recognition crap, right? These people can screw us over. Oh, hey, she's a Getwood. All the Getwoods is great. May not necessarily be so, or any other name. Ain't just a Getwoods. It's not a specific name. I'm just saying it because that's Taylor's last name. It's Getwood, right? So they intermingle these networks. They intermingle them, like I think they got, like for instance, right? Barty came from the school district, right? After he got kicked out of a judge for beating on these kids, right? beating on him. You go pull it up, they'll show you where he then popped somebody in the head, and I think popped somebody on the chest or something like that, right? His tribunal decision, you know, it states all that. Now, to give Boy T, the dad, a makeover, they go ahead and put him in the school district. Remember where they called him Small Fee Boy T, right? Where allegedly he was extorting them kids for a hall pass. Give them $5 here, write your hall pass. There you go, right? So extorting them kids back in the school after about 10 years or so. 10 years is the magic number. Okay, we go move you on, run you up at the through the doggone city. Okay, we go run you. You got two bad candidates. You got Derek Freeman, and you got a Boy T who's been out of politics in a minute. Not, you know how he is, but he been gone. Okay, maybe he can do something. There's something different than what in the hell we got going on. We either talking about cow crap or bull crap, you know, dog crap or horse crap, you know, pick your crap. Both of the candidates are trash. Okay, so hell, instead of the current trash candidate, we'll go with Boy T, the new trash candidate. Hell, you know, boom, get Freeman out. Okay, we see he sold out again. Sold out, you know, he couldn't stand up on being a man. He had sold out to the hog, right? Boss Hog, R.I.P. to him. He came in there and took, when Boy T got elected, the hog came in there and took his nuts. Took Boy T's nuts because they was scared they was going to give the city manager's job to one of the engineers over there. I keep forgetting his name. Handy Tomei. Back then, Handy Tomei and Boss Hog was beefing each other, right? Coming from Beaumont. Boss Hog called him a Beaumont reject, something like that, to Handy Tomei. So, okay, cool. So, you know, I guess time then settled. You know, gave Tomei a engineer position, wasting more money that we don't need. Okay, so I guess Handy Tomei done turned, right? Instead of being on the good side going against the hog, he done sold his soul out too. You know, it is what it is, right? Boom. So, you know, Boy T refusing, you know, on the corrupt side. Now he's, you know, way out of his head, way lost his head, like he's still on drugs, like he done losing his doggone mind. Abusive official capacity, all that. That's where we are with today with him. So, you know, you have family, you have a political family pushing all that crap. So understand, to deal with all of this, you have to not support the family or their network. You seeing the constables running around with Boy T, with the Taylor, don't deal with them. You know what I mean? You seeing these guys throwing up some type of charity events, these toys for tots. Don't support that crap, right? Yeah, you may think it's a good deal, or you may think it's something nice, but it's not innocent, right? They use these things to fool the people. And that's why they can be so successful, because if you don't have an idea about the candidate, right? Say, hey, I haven't been into politics. Who y'all think? You're going to listen to the popular network, going to support this other crook, right? So you may not have the time to deal with politics how you need to deal with it. You're going to listen to these networks sell you a dream, right? Hey, you know, we got Taylor get Wood, this get Wood, blah, 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 this is that. Oh, yeah, I believe in him. This is net. Next thing you find out, this guy shucking and jiving on the internet with a costume on, right? We have a board member that has a costume. The crown, the little rope what makes the HBCU or the TSU, that's a costume. Crowns, all that is a costume. The tiaras, all of that is a costume. He walk around here with a costume without letting the kid be a doggone kid. And this is not against Taylor. This is to this family, right? The family pushing him. And fortunately, You have another young man that I respect a lot, right? I respect a lot that they probably threw him out there literally. But he had the experience to kind of take care of his business. And that's, I don't say I'm about him. I respect him. I think he's a good character. But Taylor Getwood is way too young, and this is not his passion. You need an advocate. You need to have a person that's passionate about being an advocate for the people. Doesn't matter if they're a business person, college, they need to be an advocate for the people. And if they're an advocate for the people, most of the times you can't go wrong with this, right? Now think about it. How does this help him as a school board member, right? You have one guy that's already that graduated from Puerto Rico. You think that a person graduated under Puerto Rico is going to be able to correct Puerto Rican doing something wrong? No. Man, look, he probably can't even navigate the TEA's website correctly, right? You have people graduating under him that how they going to tell him something? But these people like Taylor and Barty, they're just placeholders. They're not there for any type of intellectual contribution. They are just there to hold that position so another qualified person will not be in that position to be able to question, hey, superintendent, why are you treating this school like a prison? What are you going to do about the safety? Why nobody knowing about these kids dying in the school? Why are these kids not learning about getting stabbed? What's going on with these teachers? Why you have these doggone teachers promoting these kids to go head on and fight, right? Why is all of this going on? But you don't have nobody with the mental capacity to go ahead and question Puerto Rico, right? Everything is a tight-knit group with the district. If everything they blaming the parents, you can't ask none of them what have they done wrong, right? They blaming the parents out of all this, and it's nothing but these tight-knit group of people caring to each other, support each other, give each other fake awards, give each other fake recognition, but they're the ones that's tearing your city up. They are the ones that's tearing your city in the trash, right? Now, you go ahead on to the networks, right? Let me expand a little bit about the networks. Now, they'll also bring like media influencers, right? They will bring media people to host some of their shindigs, right? Shindigs. You may have like a reporter, hey, we go get Angel San Juan to go ahead and host this. I'm a political family. Hey, you can go ahead and do this. Hey, I'm going to get Bello Styles. Hey, old Kappa buddy. Hey, we need you to go ahead and run this sham story on this for me. We need you to kind of turn it this way. You get these people, you make these out-of-town reporters feel like they special in here, right? You make them feel like they're with the in crowd, right? You make them feel like they're buddies. Hey, I got my look out for you. You look, I know the owner of the station. We gonna go ahead and promote you. We gonna have you looking good. Well, you can go ahead and do this, and this, and get all these accolades. All of that crap is false. Them fake accolades doesn't mean anything in somewhere where you have to earn your keep. When you really have to be qualified to doing what you have to do, that doesn't mean diddly squat, right? So, me saying all that to say, in order you want to fix this stuff, you have to go ahead and tackle these corrupt networks. The corrupt networks push the corrupt candidates, and these corrupt families groom these kids and push them out in these politics where they a lot of times get confused, right? They don't have the time where they can emotionally decompress, emotionally be a kid. Let these kids be a kid instead of bringing them to the doggone Rotary Club. What in the hell? Most people don't know what the Rotary Club is or what they do. Let alone you want to bring an 18-year-old to go ahead and be fake and phony in front of these people he don't know or he don't really care about, only to think that they can bring him to a certain level in life, right? Without having to work, without having to learn anything, right? What happens when this system of control and unearned benefits fail, right? What happens if this system crumbles and then you start getting right and honest people in there that will actually judge you by your qualifications and not what silly ass frat you have or what type of beauty pageant you won or any other thing that doesn't go along with quality, right? Because you can see why this city is on the brink of destruction is because we have clowns in the council, and the other council members that are not clowns, or some of them are scared to go ahead and deal with the corruption of the mayor, Frank Kinlaw, and Hamilton, right? You have these people that refuse to fight them, or you don't want to make it look bad. Hell, look, Barty, Frank Kinlaw already make the city look bad, right? Hamilton, all four of them make the city look bad. So you thinking you arguing with them going to make it look even worse? No, it's already looking like some clowns. The only thing is, y'all look like y'all ain't with it. That's it. Y'all look like y'all part of the doggone clowns by letting the mayor act like he's a strong mayor, right? You let the man call recess instead of voting on it. The man, y'all are crazy. I think some of y'all are crazy just like the mayor right now. Hey, and look, that's it, everybody. This is Super Dave with the PA Political Revolution Podcast. Back at it again with another banger. I hope y'all really liked it. I hope y'all really learned. This is not nothing personal at the young guy, but more towards the family. And let young people be young. Let them live their lives. And don't have them looking like a fool on TV as a grown-ass adult in a professional position, running around here with a goddamn crown, a goddamn cape on his neck, talking about they the goddamn Prince of Port Arthur, which has a high goddamn poverty level, right? Doesn't make any sense. Everybody, this is Super Dave, PA Political. Take it easy. Peace.